to fix these settings. Give me a moment. No. I didn't mean to make this a horizontal stream. Let me fix this here. Mm, mm. All right. This is way too close. You're too close, man. You're too close. Shit. Oh boy. Let's see here. Okay. Still kind of whack. Switch over to the west side. No. All right, let me try this. Where that stupid cord? Okay. No. Still don't like it. Sorry, guys. I'm still setting up. But welcome to everyone in the live stream. Yep. Watching me as I prep. I didn't intend for this to be a horizontal live stream. And yeah, that's what it's turning out to be. So to my... Are you not gonna wave anymore? You were just waving a second ago. You wait. Oh, there you go. It's waving. So hello. I'm gonna have to put these on so I don't have to be looking at this stuff from a distance. Move this out the way. My little Maneki Neko cat. So this is a Ask Me Anything Saturday, and for those who are interested, you can join me live on here, but it won't be just anyone. I'll have to be able to trust you because YouTube will hold me responsible for any shenanigans. So yeah. Okay. Put my little... Okay. That feels a little bit better. Plus, be a little bit tad more comfortable. Yeah, and with these on, I can see the chat. All right, so there we go. Hopefully, Mrs. Contrarian will pop in. She will leave you guys the link for which you can join today's stream. However, I will be I will be um, cagey of whom I let join me live, because I know there are a lot of um, disturbed individuals out there who would like nothing better than to come onto someone's stream and do something inappropriate. So let's say, Amanda, how do you stream? Yeah, more than likely you're younger than I am, so you should probably know more about streaming than I do, just from your generation alone. But you follow every social media platform has different protocols for how you live stream, the requirements, and so forth. You can consult YouTube for that. So, and I'm a little bit hot, so I'm going to take this off, by the way. And I'm not trying to flex on any or anything like that. I just get hot pretty easily. I appreciate you on my on my YouTube channel. But like I said, the protocols differ. Um, at least on YouTube, like you have to have a certain amount of uh, you have to have a certain amount of followers. You have to have a certain amount of watch hours. So there you go. And like I said, this wasn't intended to be a horizontal live stream. I usually do my vertical live streams because they're easier to do. Usually, I would prefer if I'm gonna do a horizontal live stream to do it from an app like StreamYards or something like that. Hey, Mrs. Contrarian. Do you know someone in the stream, Mahal? He said, "Hi, dear." You talking? You never call me dear. This is like you never call me dear. Was that supposed to be a joke? um, I was saying, when as soon as you get the chance, can you put the link to join in the live stream, and I'll pin it so people can join me if they want to join. I still can't get over the hi dear thing. I've literally never heard you say that before. I don't think. Yes, thank you. All right, let me pin that. I don't know who you are, Amanda, so I can't. You didn't say dear? Then who? Someone said, if you scroll up, it says hi dear, and it has some little translation, Google translation thing on there. Oh, you may have said hi Mahal, and it may have automatically translated it. All right, so let me get out of this Zoom camera. You guys don't need to see that close up of my 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, I think you said Mahal, and it automatically translated it. I think the translation app is on from a live stream from last week or so. I had turned it on when someone was talking in another language, and I flipped on the translation app so that it automatically translate whatever they were saying. And I think Google Translate Mahal as dear, even though it should probably be more accurately translated as love. But yeah, Amanda, I don't know who you are. You're asking, can I make you a mod? I'm literally, unless you've changed, you probably are someone who's changed their screen name a few times, and I don't recognize you from your original screen name, so I wouldn't trust that. Wait, why is it still got that up instead of? Did I pin the wrong? That's shit. There we go. I pinned the wrong thing. All right. Yeah, sorry, I had pinned the wrong thing. You know, I'm big fingers. I can't. So, all right. My pulled leg muscle still killing me. So yeah, that is the uh the link if anyone wants to join me live on here. All right. um, I'm not having the shenanigans, so I will be screening who is allowed to join me. But for anyone who's like genuine, can join me on here. All right. Let me see something. Like I said, I don't know who Amanda is, but I'm pretty sure that person, that's not the original um that's not the original screen name. And so if you came here under various screen names, that's kind of a red flag for me, because that means you may or may not, like I said, may or may not be a previous person who's trolled this live stream and is trying to think you can honeypot me by pretending to be a woman when you're really a guy who's been trolling the stream. That won't work on me. First of all, as you can see, my wife is one of my managing moderators here. And two, you can't honeypot me. That shit doesn't work. That it only works on stupid people. So trying to honeypot me when you're a fucking guy pretending to be a woman won't work. Um, and even if you are a woman, like I said, it's still a red flag if you've changed your screen name, because there's really no need to change your screen names on YouTube, uh, unless you actually set up a channel and you changed it, for uh, to make your channel more marketable, or something of that nature. But just ask me anything. So again, you can ask me anything on here. I give only 3 provisos. It used to be 2, but now I realize I have to make 3. So the first proviso is all questions have to be family friendly questions. Okay, only family friendly questions. That's the first proviso. Let me fix this fucking camera again. All right. All right. That's that. So anyway, like I was saying, there's only three provisos. You can ask me any questions you like, but there are three provisos. One is it has to be family friendly questions. This is YouTube, so they don't want people saying stuff that is degenerate that would make these videos not ad friendly. So family friendly basically means advertiser friendly. So I'll only be taking family friendly questions. Two, do not ask me question. Do not ask me uh, questions about um, relating to therapeutic sort of issues or relationship advice unless you are dropping a super chat. I will not give relationship advice or psychological advice for free anymore because, as I've stated many times, I've had I've given people free advice and they didn't show me any love on that. They could have, dropped me a super chat. Uh, One guy was a self-proclaimed millionaire that took relationship advice from me and came on several streams professing how I helped him out, but never had time to drop at least $5. Like you're a whole fucking millionaire, but you couldn't drop at least $5 to say, here, why don't you go buy a coffee since I know you like coffee, or you like fruit snacks. Here's something for your fruit snacks. Yeah, none of that. So I don't give free relationship advice or free any sort of free uh, psychological advice. So that's the second proviso. The third proviso is I will not be giving legal advice. I am not a lawyer. Don't ask me for legal advice. Why the fuck would you ask a random YouTuber about legal advice anyway? You need to consult a freaking lawyer because when it comes to the law, you're either talking about your you're either talking about your freedom or your money, and those are two things that you don't want to f around with. So consult a lawyer, and like I said, with the psychological or therapeutic or relationship advice, consult a professional. I can give you advice, but you're going to have to pay for it. I'm not giving it free for here. Okay. So those are my three provisos. Family friendly questions only. Family friendly questions. No psychological or relationship advice unless you drop in a super chat. And third, no legal advice whatsoever because I'm not a lawyer. Consult a real one. And don't consult YouTube lawyers either because they their advice isn't great either. Because if they were such great lawyers, they wouldn't be here on YouTube. Just saying. Unless they had a social media manager doing that for them. So those are my three provisos. Outside of those three provisos, feel free to ask me, whatever questions you guys feel like. Originally, this was going to be a live stream with Mrs. Contrarian and I, but it's too noisy in the house uh, with all my in-laws, so it wouldn't be a great time for her to cam up and talk. But she will probably cam up um, either sometime next week or the following week afterwards, where we can talk about her travels. Thus, because at this point she's actually done more traveling than I have, uh, which I'm kind of envious about, to be honest. That she's been to more places than I have, and she only has like two more places to go to cross off every country in Southeast Asia, whereas I still have what, seven? Do I have seven more to go? I'm counting silently. I don't want you guys to know how many I still have to cross off my list. I'm embarrassed. She only has two more to go. I have several. Yep, yep, yep. Quite a few. So I don't really see anyone in the chat room, although there is a few seconds delay sometimes between how many people I see and how many people are actually in the chat room. So that, that few second delay can give the illusion of there even being a lot of people or very little people because of that that those seconds of delay. But for everyone who is here, again, hello, Just A Contrarian. I'm being moderated by my wife, Mrs. Contrarian. She has left a link for folks who want to join me on camera on the live stream. And you don't have to show your face if you don't like, if you don't want. I don't require you to show your face, but you must be appropriately dressed if you're going to be on a live stream. You must be appropriately dressed because ultimately YouTube holds me responsible for whatever appears in my video. So you must be appropriately dressed. You don't have to show your face, but you must be appropriately dressed if you want to join me on the live stream. Alrighty, folks. Let's see what I got. Let me scrub these. And again, you guys can ask me whatever sort of questions you like. I will warn you, I'm not knowledgeable in many things like sports or gaming or cars or whatever, but I know a lot about very little things, particularly nerdy things. So who would like to join me on the live? Again, that is the link. So if someone has the tenacity to do so, you can join me and talk with me here live on the air. Okay. And I did say early this week that I was going to do this. So I'm a man of my word. Although there's still some things I've been meaning to do for the past 3 years, so maybe not. I don't know. I keep saying I was going to I was going to film me shadow boxing, doing my shadow boxing routine. Unfortunately, I need um, with my setup outside, I would need someone actually to be there filming it, because I don't have really anywhere adequate to set up the camera to do it justice. I would actually need someone to actually hold the camera and move around as I'm practicing, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I do still want to do that uh, shadow boxing video for you guys, showing you my shadow boxing routine. I've been planning on doing that for the past 3 years. I apologize. And also, Mrs. Contrarian is supposed to be dropping some videos for us of her travels as well. Still waiting on that. It's been a minute, Mahal. It's been a minute. But she is supposed to put together some of her footage from her travels from the past year, so that I could show you guys here some places in the Philippines. Like uh, the clips she gives are very brief, but they are snippets of places you've never seen in other YouTube videos, at least that I haven't seen. Like most vloggers that I've seen in the Philippines go to the same places. They don't really go to these out of the way places that she goes to. So many of if you go to my travel videos on my channel, you'll see places in the Philippines that you've probably never seen anywhere else on YouTube for the most part, unless it was coming from another Filipino vlogger. But from Western vloggers, you rarely see them go to any of these places that Mrs. Contrarian has gone. Like I said, unfortunately, her videos tend to be very short and brief, so it just kind of wets your whistle. Doesn't really give you a full meal. It's just sort of like an appetizer of more things to come. Pause. So, but do I have anyone who would like to join? And also, how is my sound here? Can you guys hear me adequately? My audio's fine. Okay, thank you. I actually think from a distance it's probably better than when I'm close up on vertical, isn't it? I think the sound carries better from this distance than like when I have the vertical and it's like this close to my face. It's like oh, you can't see my hand, so it'll be like I'll be having like the camera like this close when I'm doing a vertical live stream. It's like that, and I think that affects the audio. But like I said, if if people aren't invested, then I'll probably conclude this early. See, yeah. So in any case, I will wait a few minutes to see if we have people jump into the stream. Serious people. Um, I won't respond to retards. So yeah, so won't be responding to retards and homos. But in any case, when there's some real people in the live stream, you guys are welcome to join me on camera. That is the link that you see on your screen for anyone who wants to join me live. I've invited one of my moderators to join me live, uh, as I have appeared on one of his streams. So um, extending him the offer to appear on mine as well. This is Katrina already took care of that little retard. Um, I remember someone saying you can't use the R word, Mrs. Contrarian. This person was telling me several days ago. He was like, "I'm gonna get your channel taken down." As you can see, that hasn't happened because, as I said, social media has relaxed the standards ever since the 2024 election and allowed people to start saying that word again. As a matter of fact, I see young people using these words all the time now, which is a good sign. Because usually the only people you hear saying stuff are like online trolls, and usually these people are people who have a they have traits they have a they tend to have traits from the dark triad of personality. I can still taste a bit of Pepsi in this water. It's a slight sweetness to it. Interesting. But yeah, for like I said, for concerning folks who want to join me, you can join me live if you like. And I'm going to try this again. By the way, even if this one flops, this one might tonight might be a flop, but I will do this again. However, I'm probably going to do it in the vertical live stream, not in the horizontal. I don't know how this ended up being a horizontal live stream. Like I said, I might have accidentally hit the button. I'm drinking water because my voice is getting froggy. So to prevent that, drink water. Oh, for those who haven't seen it, you might be interested in watching last night's live stream where I thoroughly debunk the use of the term emotional intelligence in today's in like pop culture conversation, especially when it comes to social media and online dating. I pretty much debunk it as bullshit. Um, and as a bonus in last night's live stream, because I got enough since I hit my goal that that night for super chat. Well, not for super chats, for gems or gifts. I ended up giving people a practical martial arts technique to utilize. And I think I'm gonna set that goal again today. Let me see if I can hit this without disturbing the camera too much. Uh-oh. All right, hold up. I'm gonna set this gift goal. Do, 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 do. All right. So set another goal. Okay. Let's see. All right. This little thing is not working. See. Okay. All right. So, all right. Sorry about that. I wanted to set another goal for today. See if I can hit one. We hit it yesterday. Ouch. This pull leg muscle is I hope it's a muscle, not like a something else, like a tendon or something. But whatever I pull is a lesson to not force a front split. I was doing a side split and I tried to turn it into a Chinese split, which is a type of front split. ended up pulling something. I don't know if it was a muscle, a tendon, or ligament, but it hurts incredibly so. It has been hurting for the past week. Yeah. Um, damn, shit. Hold up. So yeah, I might end this early since it seems like it's only a bunch of retards that are even leaving comments. Um, Again, I was hoping my mod Kick the Theatrics was going to be here. So formerly known as Moonlit Fern, but now he goes by Kick the Theatrics. I was hoping he would be here to join the stream, but looks like we're not going to have that today. You can see this. This is my bug out bag. Uh, but like I said, this is Ask Me Anything. So for the few people who are in the stream, they want to ask me a question. As long as it's family friendly, go ahead and ask me. Family friendly questions only. But if it's a relationship advice question, you gotta drop a super chat. I realize it's Saturday, so people may have better things to do, and I'm always humble about that. Not to mention, I'm competing against hundreds of other content creators. So that, creates a bit of humility. But, if people have questions, or again, guys, you can always check out my previous live streams, my previous videos, my previous shorts. And I wish I was a hitman because they get paid better. And that probably would have meant got I probably would have been trained in sniper school. I wish I qualified for sniper school back when I was in the army. That would have been dope. But usually, um, you do. So one thing, like I was telling one of my moderators who was a veteran as myself, you didn't necessarily have to be in special operations to qualify for sniper school, but you did have to be in combat arms. And he was in combat arms, so I told him he should have applied for it. Um, you never know if they'll send up your packet for something unless you try. So yeah. And that's what I would tell other people too. Like, go ahead and try for something. The worst you can hear is no. It was something I wish I did in the military too, but I didn't even know it existed back then. So I'm kicking myself for not knowing about it, not for not applying to it, um, which was psyops. I didn't even know about it, nor know that it was part of special ops, that I would have qualified for it based on um, my own qualifications at the time. But I wish I did know, because I would have definitely wanted to do that instead of what I ended up doing, which was uh, cable and wire installer and maintainer. That would have been way more exciting. Or even if I did already do cable wire installer, I could have switched over and made that my secondary MOS in PsyOps. So, man, I kind of missed that one there. That would have been dope, especially since my background is in psychology, because usually they encourage those folks to go to school um, for that very major, which pertains to that specialty. And I missed the mark on that. But yeah, so like I said, I know there's a few people on the stream. So if, like I said, if anyone wants to cam up and join me on the live stream to talk with me, please feel free. Like I said, you don't have to show your face if you're not comfortable showing your face. You can wear a mask. I've actually had invited another YouTuber on here named Renegade. She's been on my stream what, 3 times? Two. Hmm. She's either, I think, yeah, I think she's been on twice, not 3 times. Um, and she wears a mask in my videos and in her own videos as well. She's a content creator, but she's on several different platforms. She's on here, she's on Kick, and she's on Rumble. I've leaving links for her in my feed, in my on my YouTube post. If you want to go to my YouTube post, I do give a link to her on Rumble, which is the majority where she posts, but she has also posted on Kick as well. But she mostly posts on Rumble, but she also posts on here. She's left actually on here. She posts a lot of her music content, whereas on Rumble she posts mostly her like her musings on different topics, the way I muse on different topics here. She does that on Rumble, but on YouTube she posts a lot of her musical content, and so she typically wears a mask because she tends to talk about very controversial things, and so she doesn't want to show her face because it will, not necessarily for her own safety, but she, you know, she has family, so she doesn't want family getting caught up in her controversies, which is understandable. That's why Batman wears a mask in the Dark Knight, is to protect those around him from retribution. Um, but I don't know, like, so. So like I said, if you want to come on live, can, don't have to show your face. You can wear a mask, or you can be in the dark. I don't care. You can, like I said, you can be a silhouette in the dark, or you can wear a mask. That doesn't matter to me as long as you are appropriately dressed. That's, you know, as long as you're appropriately dressed, that is fine. That is my, my main concern is that people are appropriately dressed if they decide to cam up. And like I said, you can also, if you want, if you can join the live and you can challenge me on my previous videos. Like if you have uh disagreement with me on previous topics that I've addressed, you can come on the live stream and we can debate the merits of that disagreement. Because I talk a lot of stuff. I talk about politics. I talk about scientific issues, particularly when it comes around as it pertains around behavioral and social sciences. Um, I discuss things in pop culture and in the news, and there can be lots of disagreement amongst many of those issues, whether you're talking about trendy topics, politics, um, uh, phenomena, and behavioral science, um, or even talk about the merits of argumentation itself, like when I discuss why people are making a mistake in saying some of the things they say. I'll address like different like logical fallacies and all that sort of stuff. So some people might want to debate me on that as well. So all of that is fair game. So like I said, is if you want to come on a live stream and instead of just having a free fall discussion, instead you want to come in here and address your grievances with me about previous topics, whether it's about women or politics or whatever. Um, I'm definitely open to that, and I'm always and not only am I open to having that exchange live on the stream, but I'm also open to the possibility that I could be wrong on almost any given topic. On almost any given topic, not all, but almost any given topic. But if not, say la vie. Um, as it is getting late, and I did want to finish watching that movie F1 with Brad Pitt. I started it yesterday, but I got tired and switched to watching some old uh, episodes of Sopranos as I fell asleep. Are you still here, Mrs. Contrarian? Oh, like I said, if you want, Mrs. Contrarian, I wouldn't mind doing a live stream, um, your time in the evening, but only if you invited a bunch of your folks to watch it, because the majority of people who watch me, according to my analytics, will only watch typically only active around this time of day in the evening, not so much so in the morning. There was only one time that I went live on a Sunday where it was a bunch of people early during the day, and that was quite rare because I've tried it several times, and usually it was just crickets. It was nothing going on. Um, when I tried to go live that early on a Sunday, but for whatever reason, that one Sunday it was popping, and it was a bunch of people, and it wasn't even a holiday. It was just a random Sunday, just a magic Sunday. It was, I'm playing. But yeah, that was rare. But I would be open to doing a live in the morning, which is evening your time, Mahal. Uh, if you invited a bunch of your friends and family to watch, then we could do it. Especially since you would be talking about you'll be talking about your traveling anyway, which they might be interested to hear you talk about. If not, we can just, do it in the evening, my time, later next week or later the following week, depending on your schedule. What you think? I think she's still here, folks. She's probably toggling between moderating and doing some stuff in the house as well. Oh, by the way, I'm still looking to hit that goal. Like she says, let's do it next weekend then. Okay, that's cool. That's cool with me. When you say do it next weekend, then you mean on my time in the evening? But yeah, guys, still trying to hit that goal of 10 gifts. The gifts will be, displayed as the gems on your screen all the way to uh, the top middle right. You'll see like a little gem next to a dollar amount, and that little, like I said, the little image is of a jewel because those jewels represent the gifts that people send. So looking for 10 of those. She says yes. So okay. So next weekend, um, Mrs. Contrarian shall return to the live stream so that we can actually talk about her um, her recent travels. Um, since last time we've talked about it, she's done her little Indochina trip. She's gone to several places since then as well, mostly in the Philippines, but places that again are off the beaten path for most vloggers who aren't people actually from the Philippines. Like I said, you might see other vloggers from the Philippines talk about these off the beaten path type of communities and neighborhoods and villages within very rural provinces of the country. And you know, to remind people, there's over like 7,300 islands in the Philippines. So there are a lot of places to explore in the Philippines. Now, out of those 7,300 or so islands, 2,000 of them are actually inhabited. So that is a lot of those are a lot of places to travel with 2,000 inhabited islands because the Philippines is an archipelago consisting of three major regions. And like I said, most Western vloggers come to the same places: Metro Manila, Cebu, Siargao, um, um, like Angela City, um, the Western friendly areas of Mindanao, um, which there are several because some people think of all of Mindanao as being dangerous, but it's not. Boracay, Bohol, like Mrs. Contrarian said. Um, one of my martial arts one of my martial arts coaches lives in Bohol actually. So that was why I was also in a hurry to get back to the Philippines because I wanted to train with him. He was willing to give me one-on-one instruction, which would have been cool because I could get certified in Jeet Kune Do by someone in my actual um, group. Um, and he lives next to a martial arts legend, Mike Stone, who was a karate champion back in the early '70s, who was trained by Bruce Lee himself. So this guy's still alive and kicking, literally kicking, and living in Boho, as is my martial arts coach from my um, John Fan Jacundo Grappling Association. Shout out to them. Founded by Shifu Larry Hartzell, who was a first generation. He was a first generation student of Bruce Lee, who ended up um, getting certification under Dan Inosanto. He started his John Fan Jacundo Grappling Association, which was really the first time um, in the JKD lineage you had someone specializing in grappling, because up until then people were encouraged to study grappling like judo and wrestling and Japanese jiu-jitsu, but it wasn't a formal part of the curriculum. And so Larry Hartzell was like the first one to make it a part of the curriculum in his school. Um, and it consisted of judo, catch wrestling, um, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu, and I believe like Salat as well. And so you, he he really gave you the the, the well-rounded student, and people under him would be more likely to people coming under his schools, the John Fan JKD Grappling Association, would be more likely to be the ones who would enter into like mixed martial arts or something like that, because usually John Fan Kundo is mostly heavy on kickboxing, especially with a strong emphasis on Muay Thai. Um, but in any case, it would be nice to get back there and see Shifu Tim in Boho. But again, that just shows, like, going back to my original point, like I said, most YouTube vloggers, when they go to the Philippines, they all go to pretty much the same 10 places, more or less. They pretty much go to the same place. Like I said, Manila, Cebu, Boracay, Boho, Siargao, Angeles City. Um, um, what's the place up north, Mahal, that you always go to where the beach is, but where there used to be the little Navy base? You go there, because remember when we were in Manila Park, I'm sorry, in Rizal Park, that guy thought that I was a former sailor, Navy sailor, and asked were you one of those girls from up there, which to me meant he was insinuating that you were one of those bar girls from from that from that region. I'm like, no, but yeah, pretty much most Western bloggers go to the same 10 places in the Philippines, whereas Mrs. Contrarian goes to off the beaten path to places that you will never see pretty much anywhere else on YouTube unless you watch me. And like I said, we might set up a second. We're considering setting up a second channel where it's just about our travels. You said you talked about Angela City. I thought you said he talked about Subic Bay. When you told me the years ago, you said he asked you, were you from Subic Bay? Because that's a big red light district area that foreigners go to, because it was a former naval base up there. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, Subic Bay, not Angeles. If he had said Angeles City, I definitely would have been mad, because I'd be like, she's trying to call you a bar girl. I don't date bar girls. Um, yeah, he asked you were you from Subic Bay, but it was basically the same implication as Angela City. But in a weird way, that could be a compliment too, because he could be saying that you look like you could work I don't know. Is that half a compliment as well? Like it's half insulting, right? But it seems like it's also like it's half insulting to me, insulting to you. But no, I mean, well, no, no, no. Well, yeah, but it's also half a compliment as well, saying that you look like you would be fine enough to be a bar girl because to be a bar girl, you do have to be attractive, right? Like you're not gonna see some big fat tubby looking, whatever, uh, being a bar girl. Like they have to look attractive. And usually once, when they're not in makeup, they look like normal Filipinas, but they still have to be like, you know what I mean, attractive. So it was an insult, but there was like a nugget of flattery somewhere in there. You think? I don't know. But yeah, he asked you, did I meet you in Subic Bay? Haven't seen. Has your brother been posting on his? I haven't really seen anything on his channel lately. I told him we should collaborate. He said, yeah, but he was worried about he and his team like having to speak a lot of English. And, oh, so for folks watching, Subic Bay is to the north of Manila. It's in the region. Like I said, there's three major regions, maybe four major regions. But anyway, the biggest region is the Luzon area. Oh, you don't think they filmed anything recently? I didn't think so. Um, so the biggest region is Luzon, on which Metro Manila is, and many other popular destinations, um, such as Angeles City and Metro Manila, all in Luzon. And in the north of Luzon is Subic Bay, which used to be a former U.S. naval base, which there was talks of reopening at some point. Um, and actually there was talk of reopening five American military installations under the previous president Duterte. But when things soured between him and President Obama over, um, what's up, Joe? What's going on, brother? When things soured between him and Obama over his alleged uh, uh, crimes against humanity during his era of his drug war, things soured and he reneged on the agreement between the U.S. and the Philippines to reopen those five military installations. Now, apparently, um, this agreement has been reestablished uh, between Trump and the current president, Bongbong Marcos, who was the son of the former Philippine dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Um, I won't get into that here because I'm not going to, get into Philippine politics. But what I will say is that it looked like they have um, decided to honor that agreement. So what I think is going to happen is I don't think they're going to reopen the old installations that used to be in the Philippines. Like there was the Air Force Base um, in Pampanga, right where Angela City was set up. There was like I said, there was the naval base up north in Subic Bay, where there's another big red light district and a really nice beach, by the way, out there way as well. Um, doesn't look like that's going to happen. What's look like they're going to what excuse me what looks like is going to happen is they're going to set up new installations um, in conjunction with current Philippine military installations already that are already up and running. I think they're gonna set those up in proxy or either in proxy or as an extension of those already established Philippine military installations. I have to read up on that, but that looks like what's going to happen. So it will be exciting for people going into the military that they might be able to serve down there. Then I already know that there's special forces in the Philippines, as Army Special Forces, aka Green Berets, have different regions of the world where they're set up. You have first group special forces, second group special forces, third group special forces, fourth group special forces, and fifth group special forces. Um, and they're all in different regions of the world, like Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, um, Southeast Asia, and I forgot. And the other one I think Africa or somewhere. And I think there's more than five groups. I think there's actually like seven or nine. But in any case, there's a group that is that typically does work in Southeast Asia, and they have been working with the Philippine government to fight the rebels in the southernmost parts of the Philippines in Mindanao, where they're still in open rebellion over the. They've been in open rebellion against the government for the past 50 years, ever since the dictatorship, basically. Let me check this message. Joe says I'm part of Special Forces called Special Ed. That's funny. But Joe, were you actually in Special Forces? To be honest, because if so, I was going to ask you like um, how many teams do they got? I forgot. I think I can't. I know it's more than five, right? I think it's if I remember correctly, it's like either like nine or ten of them, something like that. And like I said, they each have different parts of the world where they go down range and do work. and there's and a lot of people I know are envious of the folks who are either in like I think the two groups in the Green Berets that people typically are envious of are the ones in Europe and the ones in Southeast Asia. And they typically make fun of the fact that the ones in either Southeast Asia or the ones in Latin America tend to have like a second family in those parts of the world. So like they'll be married, like say in America or whatever, but they'll have like a second family. They'll be Rosemary and the kids somewhere out in Colombia, or you know they'll have their little wife out in say like the Philippines. But then I hear the most like Hua type guys are the ones in the Middle East. Like they're the ones who really put in that work. But I don't want to. I wouldn't want. Honestly, I'm not that I'm a pussy, but maybe I am. But I wouldn't really want to be the ones that have to constantly be putting in that work. I want to be the ones that can put in that be. in one of those countries. If I was still in the in the military back in the day, I would have I wouldn't want to be in Latin America because Latin America is dangerous. But like I said, a lot of those guys I heard would have like little girlfriends or wives over in Latin America or Southeast Asia. I'd rather be in Southeast Asia or Europe. Um, but um, that either way is a hard life, and I hear there's a high divorce rate within Special Operations Command. I forgot what group is the one. I forgot which group it was where they said almost all of them get divorced. It wasn't Green Berets though. It wasn't Army Special Forces. It was I can't remember if it was I can't remember. It was either Navy SEALs, SEAL Team 6, which is not the same as Navy SEALs, by the way, guys. Not the same. Um, or it was Delta Force. It was one of those three groups. If it was either Delta Force or SEAL Team 6, I can completely see why. Because being in a tier one unit means probably your entire life is devoted to doing that. I couldn't imagine how you could have a stable family life. Um, being in a tier one special missions unit. Um, and I assume that's why a lot of those guys in those tier one special mission units end up um, leaving and uh, joining like something like the CIA or the FBI hostage rescue team, something like that, where they actually can actually be home and have a family life. Because they say that the guys who leave and end up doing the FBI's hostage rescue team or CIA uh, paramilitary force are usually either guys who have families, so they don't want to go down range anymore, or they just can't cut it anymore. One of the two. So I don't know which. But in any case, I was talking about the Philippines, and like I said, that was me giving a shameless plug for Mrs. Contrarian. Um, and she is on Instagram, but I haven't shared that just because I'm not sure if she's be comfortable with people seeing her Instagram, because her Instagram page is a personal page. It's not a professional page like mine. Although if she did want to make it a professional page, I'm pretty sure it would get monetized pretty quickly. So Mahal, that is an idea too. You know, if you'd rather just keep your page your personal page, that's fine. Don't change it. But if you want to, if you change it into a professional page, you would get monetized before I could. Like my page is a professional page and it still hasn't gotten monetized yet. However, I haven't really put the effort into it either because it would be like I'm trying to set up what I'm doing here on YouTube, and it just seemed like it would be a distraction trying to do that too. I, I've already decided once I have the financial wherewithal that I'm just going to hire a social media manager, similar to my friend Ty, who's the black guy who's a professional has a professional bookkeeping firm who I've invited on my live stream. Like I think he's been on here 4 times already. I think it's been four. He's going to come back again this sometime this month as well. He's going to be back on, I think, in a few weeks. So you guys can look out for my friend Ty on here. The last stream we had was actually us talking about his bookkeeping firm and how he was kind of upset that black people won't take advantage of his financial services that he offers, but it's usually um, white people who will take advantage of his services, showing that a lot of black folks prefer to live in financial who prefer to be financially illiterate. And he and both his cousin and I are saying you just got to expand beyond black people because a lot of black people don't care about important things like financial literacy, um, being, you know, having financial freedom, stuff like that. They worry about dumb shit. so so be it. Don't you know? expand. He has to expand his clientele. If the route to his success is expanding his clientele to mostly a non black um, clientele, then so be it. It's black people who are missing out because he's reached out into the community and tried to ingratiate himself to them so that they would take advantage of his financial service that he offers. But you can't force people to be you cannot force people to be rational. There's a whole short story written about that, um, called when the tortoise what's it called, when the tortoise talked to Achilles, which is written by the same author who wrote I think it's the same author who wrote Alice in uh, Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. He was not just a fantasy author. He was also a logician and mathematician. So that was sort of his fort. Some people would say forte is actually fort. That was actually his fort, and he wrote about stuff like that. He wrote a very interesting philosophical essay. Said when the tortoise talked to Achilles. I think I may be getting the titles incorrect. Um, but you guys can look it up for yourself if you're interested. And in that short story, the tortoise explains, why he won the race against the hare, and no matter he broke it down through logical analysis. But just because you give someone a logical analysis doesn't mean that they have to accept it. People people are perfectly inclined to be irrational, irrespective of how logical you are in explaining something to them. And that goes with my friend Ty. Um, he he can be perfectly reasonable in explaining to people why they should take advantage of his financial services, but it doesn't mean that they will have to accept that. People are free to be irrational. Um, in any case, I'm gonna wrap this up soon because not really getting too much banter here. I was hoping to get some banter, hoping to get someone who might want to join me on camera. I realize a lot of people are shy, and unfortunately, the only people who aren't shy tend to be the sketchy people who would come on live and do something inappropriate. That's why I said I would have to screen people before they came on to make sure you know they don't do anything to get my channel removed or get a strike against my channel. Um, and like I said, I was perfectly comfortable with people. They don't have to show their face if they don't want, and like you don't have to show your face. If you want, you can be in a dark. You can be in a dark, with just a silhouette of yourself, or you can even do a voice modulator. I don't care. The only thing I require is that you actually be on camera and dressed. That's all I ask. You actually have to be on camera and you have to actually be dressed, which is a very low bar. That is a very low bar to be dressed and actually on camera. But we'll try this again next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. May not be the same bat time. It might be an earlier time. It might be Robin time. Might be Rockin' Robin time instead of bat time. But if anyone wants to cam up right now, or if anyone wants to ask me some questions before I go, I'll give it a few more minutes. I think the only people here are me and Mrs. Contrarian. But I gave it that old college trial. I was here for over an hour, um, seeing if I would get someone to want to get on camera. What do you say, Mahal? It's time to wrap it up, right? She didn't say anything either, so she's probably wrapped up in conversation with her family. By the way, if she's listening, Mahal, tell everyone I said hello. Tell your mom that that pancit looks good as I don't know what. Save me a plate of pancit. So I want some pancit. And ask tell them to hit me up on IG, by the way, as well. Since I don't rock with Facebook anymore, tell them to hit me up on IG as well. People watching this on replay or people who are currently in the chat room, you guys can follow me on Instagram as well. The link, um, all the links to my other social media are are in the description. Uh, you can follow me on Instagram. Well, my the stuff I well, not all my social media. Like I don't put my personal my personal Snap isn't on there, and my personal Facebook was never on there, although I'm no longer on Facebook. But my IG is on there, my email, uh, my Patreon page, my um, which I have not loaded content on Patreon yet because it's still an open question of what I want that to be the focus of. Um, Also, it has buy me a coffee my the link to my page on buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. That is an actual platform where you can reward your content creators with 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 money to buy them a coffee or a beer or a pizza. For me, it's coffee because that's what I consume every day. Literally just had some an hour ago before the live. I had some because I was pretty tired. Uh, but yeah, you can buy me a coffee. So all of those links are in the description. Like I said, if you want to yuck it up with me on Instagram, that's on there as well. If people are looking to do future collaborations with me, again, you can send me an email, or you can link with me on Instagram, or you can leave a comment here and then give me a give me a way to reach you, and we can talk about future collaborations. Um, but as for now, the future collaborations that I will be doing this month, going into February, will be again with Mrs. Contrarian, my wife, talking about her travels. Um, as more up to date than last year. uh, with my friend Ty, who has his bookkeeping firm, and he has a page on here as well. Um, I mean, a YouTube channel on here. And I plan on if when I can reach Renegade, I'm gonna see if she wants to come back as well. Because I told her I would like her to come back and we can just discuss like all like superhero comic book type stuff. Um, as well as I planned on going on to Rumble to be on her platform. So there you go. Um, but yeah, like none of my personal pages on here, just my professional pages, because I have personal pages on Twitter and Snapchat. So, and I've been tempted to turn that Twitter page into a professional page, but I don't post anything on there. All I do is literally just on my X, Twitter, whichever you want to call it. All I do is retweet stuff. I don't post original content on there. So that would probably just remain a personal page until otherwise. Like if I can monetize it, why not? But that would have to probably wait until I have someone who can help me do all of that. Just because it's just too much stuff to do between YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Whereas I used to try to focus between YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and even that was too much. So just concentrating solely on YouTube. I'm kind of glad I'm done with Facebook. That was a huge distraction. And pretty much, and besides that, everything that I dealt with on Facebook, I can find on Instagram. The only thing I would have missed from Facebook was my interactions with like actual friends, actual friends and family. But Facebook became, it got to a point where they had to set up an actual separate a separate feed just for you to actually find your actual friends and family that you follow on Facebook, because everything in your news feed is pretty much just AI slop, advertisements, and business pages. So you rarely even see stuff from the actual people you follow. So they set up a separate feed just for the people you actually follow, which is just dumb. It's like that should be the main feed, is the stuff coming from the people you actually follow. But yeah, Facebook is on this Facebook is spiraling through it into a death knell right now. I predict sooner or later that they're just going to. I think it's a matter of time. Within 2 years, they're just going to combine Facebook and Instagram into one super one super app. The way in China you have WeChat, which is like a super app over there that combines a bunch of different stuff. But like I said, I gave it the old college try. I did. I don't want anyone to ever say, "Well, why don't you let people come on your platform?" I did do it. I did. Oh, I did attempt to do that. So we'll try again for that. Oh, I didn't. Oh, did I? Am I missing messages? Mrs. Contrarian just told me um, Joe was asking me questions. Sorry, I'm sorry, brother. Um, I missed all of these messages. I'm sorry. Joe says, no, I'm not special forces, but I have a whole bunch of friends that were SEALs. I grew up in Imperial Beach. They all trained right there by Coronado. Okay, cool. He said, dude, I used to watch these guys training during Halloween week, and they were just getting their butts handed to them. And that was the last thing I wanted to do. You mean, you probably mean Hell Week, right? Was it Halloween? Or you mean Hell Week? Probably Hell Week. He says almost all these special operations guys end up with problems in their marriages, and so they get hooked on a rush of war, willing to sacrifice their own families to get back over there and fight. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember which branch of special operations it was, but in the video it was saying all of them would get divorced. I can't remember. I think it was Delta Force, but it could have been either Delta Force, the SEALs, or SEAL Team 6. It was one of those three. He said some of the guys' problem is not PTSD, but a lack of traumatic stress. He said the Seahawks must have paid off the 49ers because they're getting smoked. Well, I'm not even watching Um, I heard someone talking about this stuff earlier though. Uh, Hold up. How do you go on camera? Mr. Contrarian said you can go to the link above. He said I'm on the iPhone. Can you do it from a phone? Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. I'm on a phone. Yeah, for some reason not telling me do it because I probably don't know how. But also, this is a work phone. I think they have some things on it that limits it. Um, yeah, it might have. I don't think it would block. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it would do with your line of work, but I would think it would allow that. I do have Zelle. Yes. Um, my Zelle is connected directly to my bank account. So yeah, I do have Zelle. Joseph Joseph Money says biggest problem facing black men today is black women. Oh, don't get me started, man. I've had that discussion a number of times. Um, uh, Someone made a corny joke. Lucy Purr says I took up origami for a while, but I gave it up because it was too much paperwork. Okay. He said, "Yeah, tell me." Yep. He said, "Doctor, nowhere is listening." You mean no one is listening? And again, I don't know how many times I have to explain this to people when they say, "Yeah, no one is listening." Guys, I upload these videos, uh, these broadcasts for replay, and they are monetized. So when these live streams are replayed, uh, they they play ads during the live stream. I mean, during the replay of these live streams, which pays me. So it really doesn't matter if no one's here. I'm gonna get my time in for making the content. A lot of you don't know how to think like a content creator, so some of you don't get what content creators do. All right. If people aren't here, I'm still gonna put my time into the stream because I need those hours, those content hours, so that I can monetize it. Um, but yeah, honestly, Joe, I wouldn't want to do. I don't think I would want to do SEALs either. Um, like I said, the special operations that I would have wanted to do um, would have been psyops or civil affairs. Even though Green Berets tease them, say they don't really do anything, which sounds like that sounds like people who have a healthy work life balance. Then just as my wife does all the Zelle, how do I send it to your bank account? Oh, I would have to. So I don't want to do that on air because I would have to give you my bank account. I don't want to do that on the live stream because I would actually have to give you my personal info to for you to send Zelle. Um, we can do that off air. um, you can comment to me on sorry on email. If Mrs. Contrarian is still here, can you drop my email in the chat room? And that email is for everyone. So if people want to connect with me, either to ask me questions, um, or they want to look at possibly doing collaborations, or or they want to consult with me about questions um, about being in the Philippines or dating overseas. I'm open to doing consultations on that. Uh, Joseph, do so electronic literate. How do you do it off air? Oh, that's what I'm saying by email. By email, brother. Um, she's asking me which email. Um, Mahal, whichever email you see. Hold up. I was gonna say whichever email you see connected to my YouTube channel. That makes it easy. I want to give people um, a different email than the one I already have connected to my channel because that way it'll be confusing. So I want it all to be filtered through one email. Let's see. So when you go to the description of my channel, like it'll get, it gives my description, it gives the links to like donate to Cash App, buy me a coffee, sign up for Patreon, Instagram, and under that it says more info, and right under more info you'll see view email address, and that is my most frequently used email, which is aman at terpalum.umd.edu, because I use that. So I have a separate email. I have my professional email, this link to the channel, but for people who want to reach me quickly, I give them my personal email. That way that goes directly to me. I don't have to filter it through through Gmail like that. That um so, so if Ms. Contrarian, she can send that one out if she wants. That is the quickest way to reach me. And that, uh by the way, the Terp alum email for is for alumni of my alma mater. That's my forwarding address. So I don't mind people having that, but I do also have a Gmail that is connected to my channel as well. But when I first set up the channel, I set it up that people can reach me directly through my school forwarding address. So that's the best way. So I mean, I do check my Gmail regularly, but I mostly just use it to filter out a lot of nonsense. But yeah, Ms. Control, you can give them the Aman at terpalam.umd.edu. Uh, Lake Dog says, "What's good from Portland, Oregon, brother? What's up?" Just so do I just email you and say hi, and then you have my email or something? Yeah. So when you send me your email, it's gonna um when you shoot out an email to me, it's gonna show me uh your email address, and I can just respond back to you directly. Sitting here looking at my channel. But guys, that is my email. So for anyone who wants to reach out to me, either with questions, um, with or who are interested in collaborations or in a consultation about going to the Philippines or dating overseas, I'm available for those consultations as well. Unlike certain people like Austin Holloman, I've actually spent significant time in the Philippines and actually know more about the culture than he does. The dude was there for like 2 weeks and was giving consultations on a place that he didn't even know anything about the culture, saying that he preferred it in other countries because the women there weren't giving him choosing signals. Which, if he knew anything about the culture, he would have known that Filipino women don't approach you like that, even if they're interested in you, because that's not their culture. The only women that's going to approach you in the Philippines are sex workers. Anyway, Joe says, "Okay, cool. I won't try it now because I think it'll cut you off if I get into that right now. Hey, there's no problem. Do it when you can do it after the live stream. I was about to get off about 20 minutes ago. Until Mrs. Contrarian told me to scroll down, but I was missing all the messages. Because usually it would do it itself, but for some reason, I think the screen had froze, so it wasn't moving the chat room organically. Did I see everything, Mahal? But yeah, so, yeah, it seems like it was having some problems and cutting out or something. Yeah, it does that frequently, especially on these mobile live streams. It will freeze up. Um, but yeah, I was about to say, speaking of special operations, they showed that they did their thing in Venezuela like that. Uh, People never knew that once that 160th SOAR was about that life. That those pilots there, because people often see the 160th pilots and like the air shows, but people don't know that they're special Army Special Ops. Um, the SOAR stands for Special Operations um, Army. I always get the R wrong. I always think it stands for reconnaissance, but it stands for regiment. I think it's Special Operations Army Regiment 160. And these 160th pilots don't play because usually they are the folks that will be escorting Delta Force and Rangers um, um, downrange, and so they have to be just as good as them. Yeah, they because the Rangers often make up a backup force. You can ask your special ops buddies; they'll tell you. The Rangers are special operations too, and they often are a backup force for the Green Berets and Delta Force because there's so many and is so because the Rangers are a specialized light infantry. There's way more of them, so they usually make up a backup force to the Green Berets and Delta Force when they're sent downrange. And so those little 160th boys will pack them all up. Like so they'll send those Rangers and Delta Force out there to do that work. And the thing is, because they are flying because the 160th will be the ones flying out a tier 1 special missions unit. They are just they are pretty much just as good as they are in the range as the people that they're transporting. Not to mention you have within the Air Force you have the STS. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know about those Night Stalkers. So they put in that work on camera. If people saw for the first time how lethal they are, because most people when they see the 160th pilots, they usually just see them at air shows. Like they're frequently, they're frequently in. Matter of fact, it was an accident. I think it was like 2, 3 years ago. There was a nasty aerial accident at one of those air shows with the 160th. But yeah, I got the term right. It's the 160th SOAR Special Operations Aviation Regiment, not Army Regiment, Aviation Regiment. Sorry, I almost got it correctly this time. But their nickname are the Night Stalkers. You'll see them boys in them Chinook those Chinook helicopters. You know it's going down. He said, "What do you think about the supposed secret sonic weapon they use? If that's true or not?" I haven't even heard of it. I will say this: there is a lot of classified tech that people in Special Operations Command use, and usually these things end up. The cool thing is a lot of things that start off um, being used in special operations will often be scaled down for uh, for commercial use in the years down the line. Same thing with like stuff developed for outer space missions. Often that technology gets scaled down for commercial use as well. So I don't know if they have any supersonic type weapon, but I would say the capabilities they have for the technology they do use is classified. But I haven't heard they had any sonic weapons. That's definitely possible. That's why I say when people be talking trash about the military, I was like, yeah, I realize the military the military has capabilities beyond just what a bunch of people who like to collect guns can do. Because remember back in Chicago last year when you had all these little gang members talking shit about, oh, the Army National Guard better not come out here, and Trump better not show his face in Chicago. And we was like, do you know what the fucking military could do to you guys? They sitting there bragging on TikTok talking about, yeah, we got switches on our guns. Like, Negro, no one cares about your switches on your guns. I was like, they they can drop a smart bomb from space on your home. You're talking about switches on your gun. Like, shut the fuck up. I can't stand. I hate YN so much. You just don't. If 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 we could get rid of every single YN country, like the inner cities of America would be a better place for it. Need to check this. Let's see. That's one of the things of being in the SEALs. They get to play with a lot of special toys. Oh yeah, no doubt. So Google sonic weapons using Venezuela, uh, and you'll probably see some things come up. All right, yeah, I'll look that up because I haven't heard of anything. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't. Yeah, I haven't really heard of people weaponizing sonic, uh, yeah, sonic vibrations. I'm pretty sure that you can. I'm pretty sure that we are at a stage where we could weaponize something that gives off sound. Because just think, like, if you just think of going to like a rock concert, like the energy put out by the auditory equipment. It's not, sorry, not auditory, the audio equipment at a rock concert can make people go deaf. All you have to do is scale it up a, a, a few levels, and you're talking about not just making people go deaf, but actually like you know unaliving them, or making them so worse for wear that they'd probably be better off if they weren't alive. So yeah, I can believe it. But like I said, I don't know what those capabilities are currently in the military. It would be interesting. What did Miss Contrarian like me? Oh, okay, so she's about to get off stream. So I'm about to go too. But Joe, somebody shoot me an email when you can. That's my personal. Well, that is my forwarding address to my personal email, and we can go from there. And also, for anyone watching or anyone who's going to watch this broadcast and replay, if you guys want to send me out a question, either about my channel, about traveling to the Philippines, or about dating overseas, you can shoot out an email to me. and we can go from there. Because I will be, because I am going to be taking consultations from here on in. Appreciate it. Miss Contrarian says goodbye to everyone. We finished with Joe's last message here. He says supposedly there was some Venezuelan military guys that said the U.S. used some kind of weapon that made them faint, had nosebleeds, and they felt like their head was going to explode. Yeah, that's possible. Or it could have just been the sound of all the or it could have just been the sound of all the aviation equipment. Because again, they're using they're using technology from the fucking 80s, at best 90s. They're not used to us. They weren't used to facing a military force that is equipped for the 21st century. So they can blame that on Machado. But all I know is we got some cheap gasoline now. We got some cheap gasoline, and we got 22 million displaced Venezuelans pretty freaking happy. So sounds like a win to me. Big W for Trump. Big W for the U.S. Big W for the Venezuelans. The only L is Machado and his cronies. Oh well. All right, guys. I'm gone. Again, if you want consultations, send me an email. The link is in the description. Um, we can consult on traveling, overseas dating, or on the or we can talk about possible collaborations for people who are up and coming YouTubers. All right, I'm out. Peace.